Stephen A., are you more impressed with Luka and Kyrie or disappointed in Cat and Ant?
I'm disappointed in Cat and Ant. When I look at Kyrie and Luka, as spectacular as they've been, it's no surprise. We're accustomed to seeing a level of greatness, particularly on the offensive side of the ball from both of them. We know what they bring to the table. Luka and Kyrie have stepped it up. We get that. Anthony Edwards, you're going to talk that talk. We saw how spectacular he was in the first 2 rounds of the playoffs, sending KD and them home via sweep. And then after that, going up against Denver and taking out the reigning defending NBA champions. We expected more from him. He showed up last night, just didn't have enough in the gas tank, but games 1 and 2 obviously were not that impressive. Karl-Anthony Towns is the biggest disappointment, though, because, you know, to know him is to love him. You root for him. He's a great guy. We know that, and he can play. He's so much better of a shooter than this. And again, I'm going to lean on Draymond, Shaq, Charles Barkley, and Kenny, because they're absolutely right to get on Karl-Anthony Towns, especially Shaq. Yo, you missed the first 2 or 3, man. Take your big behind down low and take advantage of some of these matchups. See, here's the problem. I hate when I see Karl-Anthony Towns, Shea, and Eminem. I hate when I see Cat driving to the basket because he's damn near 7 feet. And a lot of times he's got a height advantage. And if you notice, there's always something that ultimately ends up putting him on the floor because you're attacking his legs, because you can't match up with him height-wise. And so you're putting yourself in danger of getting a leg injury, a knee injury, or whatever. Go down low, play with your back to the basket, and take advantage of smaller guys. He doesn't do that.
No.
He depends on the jump shot. And it's let him down. He shoots like 14% from 3 from crying out loud. It's like 0 for 8 last night, 3 of 22 for the series. It's bad. And because of that, Ant-Man has no help. And that's why I say the bigger thing is the disappointment, because these games have been close. They ain't been blowout.
Yes.
Every game has been close. It's come down to the last 2 or 3 minutes, and Karl-Anthony Towns has been nowhere to be found. That's the disappointment.
I agree with you, Stephen A. I'm more disappointed because Kyrie and Luka is doing exactly what I thought they would do. I have great expectations, and they've met or even exceeded those expectations, even in clutch situations. And this is where the Dallas Mavericks, they were one of the 2 best teams, along with the Lakers, in clutch. The last 5 minutes of the game within 5 points. And we know what they can do because both are great ball handlers. Both can get to anywhere on the court that they want to get, anytime they want to get there. And without you taking the ball out of their hands, you're at their mercy. You're just praying that they miss. I'm extremely disappointed in Cat and Ant-Man because the greater the expectations, the greater the disappointment. There's a reason why when my brother got an A, my grandmother wasn't nearly as happy for him as she was me because she expected him to get an A. That wasn't expected of me, Stephen A. So, you know, when I sprung that A on him every once in a while, Monica, she was happy for her baby.
That's right.
But the expectations for Cat, because they did knock off the defending champs. They did knock off the guy that just won 3 of the last 4 MVPs. And to play this bad, and I'm going to say something, I don't know how many people have said it, but if you go back to Game 7, Ant-Man hadn't shot the ball well in the last 4 games, Monica. This ain't just the last 4 games. He hasn't shot the ball, not just in this series.
Decently yesterday, though. I thought he shot decently yesterday. I got to look at the, but you're right.
He was 11-24.
Yeah.
Is that pretty good?
That's not bad. Damn near 20, you know.
Flirting with a triple-double.
45, yeah.
Flirting.
9 and 9.
They still did that in 2024. They flirting.
Well,
either you do or you don't.
Some people say
right,
you
Shannon.
flirt.
My bad, Monica. Monica.
I just gave you some stats. Relax.
But hold on. Cat and Ant, 16 of 42, 38% last night. On Friday night, 9 of 33, 27%. Right. They had 36 points between the two on Friday night on 33 shots, Monica.
That's right.
I got you.
That's bad.
I got you.
That's bad. Right.
So I hear you guys, but I'm actually more impressed with Luka and Kyrie. And I think it's important to understand why when you look at their efficiency. In the 4th quarters in this series, they have put up 58 points on 18 of 32 from the field. And as you mentioned, Stephen A., despite this being an 0-3 hole for the Minnesota Timberwolves, these games have been close. It has required them to meet the expectation or exceed the expectation in the clutch. I think the chemistry between not just the 2 of them, while that is the foundation of what the Mavs got going on, Gafford's involved, Jones Jr. is involved. Lively when he's on the floor and healthy. The way that this team is playing as a collective and to roll out and take a 3-0 lead in this one, for all the reasons that we just praised the Minnesota Timberwolves, to me has been completely impressive. They have neutralized the best defense in the league. And so I think for me, I have a little bit of wiggle room when it comes to Minnesota because our brother, Stephen A., Vinny Goodwill, asked them after they took care of the champs, do you feel like you've lost enough, right? Their youth, to me, and their inexperience is starting to show up in a way that I think a lot of folks questioned at the beginning of the season in terms of how legitimate they were. So to me, the efficiency of the Mavs, Kyrie and Luka in particular, cannot be overstated. And so I find them to be more impressive than I am disappointed with this young team.
So look at this, Eminem. Luka and Kyrie, 60.3 points per game in this series. Ant-Man and Cat, 37. Think about that. That's a discrepancy. So I'm looking at that. I'm looking at 49% shooting compared to 33% shooting. I'm looking at 42% shooting compared to 23% shooting from three-point range. I'm looking at clutch points right now. I'm looking at them in the fourth quarter, averaging 10.3 points for Kyrie on 50% shooting, 71% from three in the fourth quarter. Luka, 9 points, 64% shooting, 67% from three. You're talking about how impressive they are. I'm talking about the precipitous drop-off in production that Cat and Ant are giving you, knowing what Kyrie and Luka is giving you. That's why it's the bigger disappointment. It's a bigger disappointment to me, Ant-Man and Cat.
I got y'all. And the numbers, if we were solely looking at the numbers, you're right. I probably don't have an argument. But when I look at this thing in the context of experience, when you looked at these two teams on paper, Kyrie having been a champion, having been the wingman alongside LeBron James, hit the big-time shot to give the Cleveland Cavaliers that title. When you look at Luka Doncic, who's been deeper in the playoffs than both Ant and Cat, when you look at the context, not just the numbers, I am more impressed that these guys continue to bring along their teammates than I am that this young team has hit a proverbial wall. That's all.
One more thing. What guy on the Mavericks roster can do anything with Cat if he stopped shooting those threes and played with his back to the basket?
But Shannon, in the playoffs, you know you don't become a new animal. That's the way Cat play. So what are we saying?
Time. Whoa. Eminem, you know the definition of choking. It's when I shouldn't say that because again, I get your point about them being young. I understand that. And I don't want to accuse them of that. Let me take that back. Here's what I'm trying to say. You're Karl-Anthony Towns.
Yes.
I understand you ain't having a good series. 14% from three.
Look.
14%. Yo, bro. You know, I mean,
and he's still shooting them.
And you still shooting them. So in other words, what is Shaq? What was Shaq going crazy about last night? He was like, "Yo, take your behind down." What do you talk? Why do you keep doing it when it clearly isn't working for you? You just gonna keep throwing it up there?
Yeah.
Take your behind down low. He's right about that. He's right about that, Eminem.
He drove the ball and got a quick 6 points. You remember, and what was it, like the third period? He drove the ball like 3 times in a row. Got an and one, made 3 quick buckets. I was like, okay, Cat done found something. He did that a lot in game 3. Game 2 was playing with his back to the basket, was attacking the rim. And then all of a sudden, he's like, the lure. You know what, Monica, and I tell people all the time, you know, the moth, he can't help that he's attracted to the flame, even though he knows how it's going to end. He just can't help it. Cat knows the way he's shooting the basketball, how it's going to end, instead of going down low. When he's got P.J. Washington on him. How tall is P.J.? 6'8", 6'9"?
6'8".
And you got Cat at 7 foot tall. He can easily shoot over the top of anybody other than Lively. But you know what? Let me get out here because they're shooting these threes like Kyrie and Luka. That looks good. I'm the best shooting big man in the history of the game. I'm better than KD. I'm better than Dirk. I don't believe that, but I am. That's what I'm going to say. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
I'm also going to hold the coaching staff accountable, though. I mean, damn it, make them go. Make them go down low. You the coach. Yo, man, come here. Take your ass down low.
Hey.
Do what you got. I mean, benching those guys, they're not doing that. They're letting him continue to do what he's doing.
Y'all are not wrong. But I think, for me, it's important that we not just rest on oh, look what the Mavs was doing in the regular season. It's hard to win. It's hard to be this elite. And I'm just going to go with the glass half full in this conversation and give the Mavs their credit as opposed to coming down on a young team in my mind. Well, I shouldn't say a young team in totality. Their stars are a little bit.
If I'm the coach, I'm gonna call Ant and I'm gonna call Mike Conley Jr. to come here, guys. If Cat don't get his butt down on the block, don't y'all throw him the ball. Okay.
First of all, Shannon, are you working on a book of all of your Southern sayings?
Right.
Because you got a saying for everything.
Guess what?
Seriously.
Mike Conley Jr. has been in the league long enough to not need the coach to tell him that.
Yeah, that's why I said they're young stars, not the whole team.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mike Conley's playing. Mike Conley got his hand full. He got to deal with Kyrie or he got to deal with Luka. That's no easy task.
That's right.
Yeah, it ain't easy.
Call
I
to
don't-
help.
All right.
You go.
Game 4 tomorrow at 8:30. That one's
I am
in
working on the book,
Dallas.
no, Monica.
I'm sure you are.
There we go.
You know,
Can I get a signed copy?
What kind of book?
I need a
There
signed
you get
copy.
by.
Wanna try to bust at what I look like. Keep them going, try to wear, I pull up long range. Jimmy with the heat, I'm on fire. It's NBA over here,